a warm welcome to this webinar on the European Solidarity Corps. I'm Teresa Pallares, Advocacy Officer at YouthProAktiv. And as you've noticed, we are recording this event. So we will share this among the participants afterwards. And also, additionally, I encourage all of you to use the chat for any question you can have. I have no doubts that our expert today, Gosia, she's going to answer all the questions in her presentation, but just in case, you can also use the chat for additional questions you might have. So I just want to introduce our expert, Gosia Kozlowska. I think I'm pronouncing it well. And Gosia is working, she's an expert working at the European Commission at the Directorate General for Education, Youth, Sport and Culture, and specifically, she's a program manager for youth policy and programs. So Gosia, I'm going now to share my screen. So we will follow your presentation. So just please let me know. I will follow you and you let me know the order of the slides, of course. So 1 second, please. Let me just minimize this, and I'm just going to make this bigger. Lovely. Okay, Gosia, so the floor is yours, and thank you very much for joining us today again. It's a pleasure having you here.
Okay, it's a pleasure to be here. So I was asked to give you a bit of information on the program on the European Solidarity Corps. So I will present you the basic information that you should know if you want to take part in it, and how to apply, where to apply, and etc. So you will find, I hope, all the information, and then the presentation will be shared with you, so you will find also the links. So yeah, it's about the Solidarity Corps program for the 7 years. We have targeted initially 270,000 young people for this period, so that we thought that this will be a number of people who will participate in the program. However, after we are approaching the midterm of this implementation, and we had to a bit adjust to reality, the numbers of the people that we target. So we now think about 185,000 people that would be registered in the portal and then take part in our opportunities. The budget for this period is 1 billion, over 1 billion, as you see. We can move to the next slide. And what is the purpose of the Solidarity Corps program? We always say they have we have lots of different objectives, but the two main objectives is to foster solidarity in the program, in the European society, by engaging young people in high quality solidarity activities, which is mainly volunteering. And we can move further on. We have here this two objectives that we focus. So first, we want you to make a contribution to society and do something for others. But at the same time, when you do these things, you can also develop your skills, get some competences, and do something for yourself, and get some valuable experience when you volunteer. Okay, we can move. And we have 4 priorities. They are horizontal priorities for this period. Yeah, the same as for Erasmus, so exactly the same. We have inclusion, green, digital, participation, and what we mean by this is that we want to promote social inclusion, tolerance, human rights, and it means as values through the actions, but also through accessible formats. So it's also how the formats of volunteering are adapted to people with fewer opportunities to make them participation easier in the program. And we also have additional financial support for people with fewer opportunities. We also want to contribute to tackling climate change, and also both ways, by integrating the green practices in the projects, but as well as promoting the environment and sustainable behaviors through the project. So always this two way of looking at our objectives. Digital as well, also through the digital digitalized formats, but through boosting digital skills of you who would participate in the program, but also the target groups to help others to foster digital literacy. And participation is very important for us. We here want to empower young people, engage, and show them how they can be active in the society. And this priority is super important for us for the next year, especially when we have European elections, and we will focus on promoting participation, active activities in to engage young people to vote in in June in the European elections. If you move now, this is repeating these priorities that I mentioned. So we have 4 main ones, but in the European Solidarity Corps program, which is a bit different from Erasmus, we also can introduce annual priorities. So every year we see what's the mood around and what we want to promote, want to focus in the projects, and we choose the priorities after consultations. And for 2024, we will have 2 annual priorities, which will be one is repeated from this year, which is relief for persons fleeing armed conflicts and other victims of natural man-made disasters. And we also add now the new priority to foster positive learning experiences and outcomes for young people with fewer opportunities. And we say this mainly refers to the special call, which is the centralized call of volunteering teams that I will mention just a bit later. But also, these are the priorities that we want to focus, so they can be also enforced through decentralized projects, so also through normal standard volunteering. Okay, so the volunteering, you see the table with the budget, but it's just for the orientation, what numbers we are talking about for the program per year. What is it? It's like to offer, through volunteering projects, we offer opportunities for young people to take part in solidarity activities, and it's through the daily work. So it's a bit different concept of this traditional maybe way of thinking of volunteering, that you do something after studies or after going to university or after your daily activities, that you go and volunteer somewhere. No, this is what we focus here. It's the full-time job on volunteering that can last from 2 months to 12 months. This is the individual volunteering, but we also have groups, and this is for the participant age from 18 to 30. And as I said, we can help where there's need, and also you get some experience through this kind of activities. If you move further, I think it's further explains again what I said, and even it can be also for 2 weeks if you classify as a person with fewer opportunities. And the volunteering also can take place in your country or not in your country, and that's a specific where it can take place. So it depends what opportunity you will find. You can also do it from home. So it's not always includes the mobility abroad. For more practicalities, if the project to be valid, to be implemented, we need a minimum 2 organizations. We call them host and support organization. The one that supports you usually sends you from home 2 activities, and then we have the host organization that organize the activities on the spot, and they have to be certified within the procedure with the national agencies when they get so-called certification as quality label. We have also volunteering teams that can be also maybe less engaging activity because it's shorter. It can be from 2 weeks to 2 months. So usually young people choose holidays period to participate in such activities. It's also a very interesting thing to do. For the geographical scope, we have national agencies that, because our program is mainly decentralized, which means that we just established the main framework for the program, but then the implementation is done through our contacts in member states and program and third countries associated to the program, which are national agencies. So the full information and full promotion, communication, information that you will need when you want to apply, it's done through national agencies in your country. So they are there to help and give you all the possible information. Okay, and we don't have only volunteering, we have also solidarity projects, which I'm promoting very, very much, as this is the action that I'm responsible for. And these are the projects that you can do yourself in your local community. So it's not abroad, it's where you are, when you just can gather your friends or find other people who would be interested, which would be interested to be involved in this project. You develop the project. You also can ask advice from the national agency, and you will get funding, which will be a monthly amount of 630 euros from next year for implementation of the project. And it can last from 2 to 12 months. And definitely the main objective is that it will focus on the needs in your local community, what you want to improve, what you want to bring to the target population, and through the application process. Yes, there is an age limit. It's, as you see also actually on the screen, it's from 18 to 30. But you can already apply to the portal at the age of 17. But to take part in the project or volunteering, standard volunteering is from 18 to 30. You can also use, maybe I think it's on the next slide. Yes, this I already said. And the next slide, there are minimum 5 people that can be, you can do a project with, but you can also ask organization to help you. So they don't need to be certified. It can be municipality, it can be a volunteering organization, civil organization, civil society organization, whoever you find in your neighborhood that could help you. They are probably already some experienced organizations, and they can get you through the application process and maybe some management. If you have some management challenges, implementation challenges, that's the way administrative side, such organization can help. But the idea is that this project is thought through by young people themselves and then implemented mainly by young people. This is our idea, how to make young people more involved and more aware of what's going on in the community. And if you, yes, 5 people, and this organization doesn't need quality label. So it's a different thing because it's a bit easier. We don't need to do certification process for such organization that will help you only in applying. We have, if you move there, yes. So we have also another thing. This is run centrally from through our agency here in Brussels. This is volunteering teams in high priority areas. So we define these objectives, annual objectives, as I said, for every year. And these are projects of large scale, and they have to involve at least 3 organizations. We have quite a big budget for it. And they are focusing on volunteering teams. So it's a short-term volunteering from 2 weeks to 2 months. That projects focus on the special objectives. So last year we had a lot on helping people who escaped the conflict in Ukraine. There were lots of very specific projects for this, and also there was the on health issues priority. And now, as I said, it will be again fleeing people from the armed conflicts or other disasters. So there are the organizations that have to combine, have to link each other, and then they come out with this specific projects. They have to apply actually by February next year. And then they will be promoting this opportunities that they have within this projects if they win, if they will be awarded at the end. So it's also very, very interesting proposal for you as young people to participate. If you move later, yes, it's a short-term group volunteering, and it's very suitable for the people who cannot commit for a long period. So it's also usually during summer activities. There are many opportunities for you to be engaged. And another, I think the last big part of our program is something that's new. We have humanitarian aid volunteering strand, and it's also very interesting. And it's not only for people, there's a small difference with the other actions because it's for people from 18 to 35. So kind of already a bit older youngsters can also participate in this volunteering. And it's through in the third countries, so it's outside the EU member states and other countries associated to the programs. And it's as an individual, it's also 2 to 12 months, or in teams from 15 to 60 days. And it's not in the armed conflict areas, but it kind of helping in restitution after something happened somewhere and there are some humanitarian activities needed on spot. It's very, very there is a lot of interest to participate in this in this kind of volunteering. As you see, yeah, for the 23, I don't have yet the numbers, how many we have the projects, but if you move to another slide, yeah. So as I said, yes, it has to be in the places where there is no armed conflict. So it's not possible, like in Ukraine or Israel now and Palestine, to take part in some actions. But definitely there are lots of different interesting projects. And to participate in this, you need to go through special training. So first you have to subscribe in the portal, and then you have to be selected for the training, which will first be online, and then there is face-to-face. And then we have the database of young people who would like to be participating in these projects, and they will be selected from this database after the face-to-face training. So as far as I heard, there are much more people interested to take part than there are actually opportunities, but there's still some possibilities to take part definitely with this volunteering. And the information that you have on the screen is for organizations when there's the deadline to apply for next year actions, so for the 16th of April. We have also some quality and support measures that are embedded in our program to help you to participate and to have fully satisfactory experience in the volunteering or in the projects. We have the trainings. We developed the system online that you can follow many trainings, very interesting modules that you could use. We have insurance that we have centralized insurance that we offer in cross-border activities, so that it's full secure activities are implemented in full security. Then we have also online language support, so some courses if you need them in your mobilities. We have also so-called training and evaluation cycle. So there is a training before departure, there's training on arrival when you arrive to another country, there is midterm training and an annual meeting as well. So you can also meet other volunteers at these events, and it's really helpful to build some community of volunteering. We offer mentoring, yes, and we have also recognition of learning outcomes through YouthPass. So you will learn some skills, and then it will be documented through the through the YouthPass certificate. Yeah, actually, we have a slide for about more detailed about general online training, which is available to everybody who already registered to Youth Portal. So you don't need to be already chosen to take part in volunteering or be an active volunteer. You can already prepare yourself through the courses that are available online before any activity. So you have more than 30 online courses via the EU Academy. And it's interesting to see, we recorded some youth talks. There was a European Year of Youth last year, and there were a lot of young people voices recorded on the platform, and it's very interesting to see. Also, if you want, it's part of the general online training. And some information, which is, I think, the most important for you, what you can do. So we can have, to start your engagement in the volunteering, you have to register in the portal. It's enough that you will just Google European Youth Portal and you will find the link immediately to register. As I said, you have to be 17 minimum to register to the portal, maximum 30 for normal standard volunteering and 35 for the humanitarian aid. And then you have to tick a bit of boxes to say what are you interested in, which kind of volunteering. And then you can or search the database of the projects, or you will be contacted by organization and selected for the project. I checked today, we have 828,000 registrants in the portal since 2018 when we started counting them. So there is a big interest, and but of course there are not so many opportunities, but we work on it, so to offer to everyone. If you want like the big bulk of information about the program, what actions we have, so first you can contact the national agency, and on the website of the national agency you will find the program guide of the Solidarity Corps in your language. So I think it's very useful to read this, and you will see what are the conditions, what are the requirements for participation. But the main source of information also is European Youth Portal, and you will find all the possibilities, very useful links, and then you can also find in your apply, you will find community of other people who are also interested in volunteering or already took part in volunteering. And also you can follow us on social media. They are very active there. And voila, I think that's most of information that I wanted to give today.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yes.
Are any of these compensated in any matter? I know it's a volunteer experience.
Yes, I forgot. Yeah, actually, it's not the part of the standard. Yes, of course, it's not that you have to pay for the volunteering.
Okay.
You get pocket money and accommodation, and food
Okay.
is provided.
Okay. Okay.
So the basic needs and the transport to the travel to the place of the volunteering is also provided.
Okay, thank you very much.
Wow, thank you very much, Gosia, for your insightful presentation. Very useful, and I was really happy to learn about the humanitarian side and the solidarity projects more at the local level, because as you said, not everyone has 6 months, 1 year.
Yeah, but solidarity projects, they can be done outside in parallel with something. So for solidarity project, you don't need to be involved like full time. You can study, you can work, you can do other things, you can even volunteer in another projects, but at the same time, you can do the projects with your local community. It's not fully engaging.
Which gives you more flexibility in that sense.
And
that's
really
also
nice.
the goal. Very good, very good. I think
and then we have a database of different projects. You can just search and get inspired what can be done. So it's really interesting.
Well, thank you very much, Gosia. I know your time was very limited.
Yes, I'm sorry for this.
I know. Don't worry. It's for us. It's been a pleasure having you, learning from you, and I will share the presentation among the participants. because definitely this is a document that offers valuable information, updated, and highly recommend, giving a proper look. So thank you very much, and
Thank you.
we really look forward to carrying the inspiration of your words, your daily work. And I'm now moving to the next segment of our activity.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Josia. And I will be welcoming Alba with us, Alba Requejo. Alba, it's a pleasure having you today. Alba, it's our voice of experience, I would say. And I'm going to introduce you, Alba, and then we will proceed with our conversation. So Alba, it's a warm welcome to you, Alba, first of all. And Alba had a personal experience with the European Solidarity Corps. And as she described herself, she's a convinced European, and she started her career here in Brussels, in the European quarter of Brussels, some years ago. And she's currently working at the European Commission Department for Research and Innovation. And she's coming from Spain and has a double degree in international relations, translation, and interpreting, which she studied mostly in Spain, but also abroad in Australia. And she has a lot of experience in civil society. And when it comes to volunteering and European Solidarity Corps, she spent her volunteering experience in Romania. So again, Alba, it's a pleasure having you here. And as we already commented in our previous conversations, we had several questions for you today. But first of all, I would suggest also letting you know, all of you, please, if you have questions following Gosia's intervention, and now also for Alba, we are going to ask her several questions. Please feel free to continue using the chat. Thank you very much for that. Okay, so Alba, the floor is yours. But my first question, and I think this is the question that all the people here today has for you, is why European Solidarity Corps? How this experience connected with you, and what does European Solidarity Corps mean for you?
Thank you, Teresa, for a very nice introduction, very generous. Indeed, my path basically has been shaped very much by the European experience, no? Studying here as well and doing some exchanges, normally in summer while I was studying, and then more gradually going to live and work in another country. And this is part of the European experience itself, right? The right for open mobility and being able to establish yourself in any other member state. Well, the European Solidarity Corps, when I finished my degree, I started doing a short internship in technical translation in a consultancy, and I was feeling I really liked the team. I was with a young, young passionate people, very competent, and like also with me, willing to start in the market, in the labor market. But I felt that I had not experienced that kind of European sphere, or all the different conversations that we had at university, and the different subjects. So I was quite curious to know what was to be a European, what was the European experience, how could I sense it more, what was my impact, what are the initiatives being done at a European level, because of course you always grow up listening to everything related to your national politics, all the social initiatives in your own country. You learn from your family, friends, etc. So I kind of wanted to explore that. So I by chance, actually, on social media, on Instagram, which I guess you're all familiar with, I came across a post that was announcing the fact that they were looking for volunteers in Romania in the European Solidarity Corps. And since then, well, I just contacted my friend, the person that had posted about it, and then he told me more information. They were looking for someone immediately, because another person from Turkey, they were looking for specific nationalities, sometimes to make it a bit more, let's say, inclusive, no, representative of more, not only European Union, but also a bit more Europe, no. Because there's people from Georgia as well included. There's people from Turkey, so it's very interesting as a cultural combination. There's also, I think Egypt is also participating. So
Yes.
as you mentioned, like beyond the EU member states. And I left the internship and I said, okay, look, I want to take chances. I'm really young. If I don't do it now, when will I? And it was super valuable. The main word for me would be um, growth, and not in a cliche way, right? But like growth because personally it was a bit of a cultural shock that I was in a very small community, and not a cultural shock in a negative way, but basically because they spoke Hungarian. In the majority, it was a Hungarian community, and I don't have. I mean, from Latin we can understand a bit our cousins, no, Romanians, but for Hungarian, completely different. So I used a lot the paralanguage, and you had also to be more cautious about how you were reflecting, not being too confrontative with your facial expressions, and there was a bit of a cultural like experiment in a very positive way. I learned that people there were very uh, welcoming, and they received us immediately. They introduced us to everyone in the city. It was very small, 12,000 inhabitants. So I think that was part of it, no, like learning that there's also other ways of living, other more humble communities. And even I come from a town that is not central, is not a capital, is not Madrid, but still, well, I was born in Madrid, but then I don't live there. And still, that combination was really eye-opening and heart-opening, I would say.
Wow.
So
Thank you very much, Alba. Thank you very much. And can you explain us? Okay, you told us that you found this post in Instagram, you contacted your friend, and then the process seemed to be like smooth, no? That you were reaching the organization, you went sent to Romania. More, my question is a bit more technical or practical in a way, because some people are still unsure of, how all this application process works. And as our expert Gosia was letting us know, there are so many people still, registered and waiting, to finally be able to be deployed and engage actively. So how was this process for you? Did you find it difficult, or was easier because you already know someone who was doing it? As you were mentioning, they needed somebody, from a specific profile. So how did you find
they
the process?
they were looking actively for someone, right? So it was easier to fill in the vacancy in a short term. As Gosia mentioned previously, there's perhaps less actual spots than we would actually like, or they would actually like to give, because of the funding, etc. But in any case, I think it's always nice to contact any functional mailbox, any offer, to express interest in a very proactive way. That way they can really like assign you to a place. And once that you have expressed interest, it's very easy. The national contact points gets in touch with you, and then you have to fill in a couple of forms. Administrative wise, is not complex. So you fill in who is the receiving organization. You will have an interview as well with the receiving organization, and then immediately you agree with them your starting date, what are going to be your tasks. Then you sign kind of a volunteer agreement, and they really take care amongst each other of the coordination, so that everything is smooth when you arrive. The reception, they welcome you, they come to pick you up, etc. And you also get the contacts, the phone numbers, the emails. So in that sense, it's very helpful.
Okay, excellent. I'm also wondering, you were mentioning that you were in this Hungarian speaking community in Romania, the language challenge, not a big town, 12,000 people, and all these language barriers. But my question is more like also practical. What exactly were your tasks? What was the activity that you developed, and also how was the interaction with the locals during that activity? And even with the people from the other EU and non-EU countries, how that work in practice?
So in practice, yeah, funny thing. Well, basically, we were there was two of us, and we were basically going to help with this little media association, the local one that was producing news locally and like conducting interviews around, in order to promote a bit the culture and heritage of that location. And very close to the Hungarian border. So that's the area. and we were doing some, well, from our main tasks were doing some media communication, so helping with the curation of the material. We also filmed some testimonies from the locals in terms of the history and what they had experienced with the communism, and how was the transition into like opening up to the more European values, and promoting these videos in a engaging way, right? So not like a heavy documentary. We were also doing some cinema screenings and then doing some commentaries after. We were also doing some events with the high schools there. So, for instance, from information awareness campaigns on what the institutions do, the fact that there's Erasmus opportunities for them. So this was an informative, the more didactical or um, part of it. And then on the other hand, more out of curiosity and practicity, we were recreating, for instance, a business model with the commodities of the local community. So how would you become an entrepreneur to produce, for instance, wines? There was a lot of wineries, and they were also doing some weaving. So there were some local commodities that they also wanted to exploit. So we helped with these campaigns as well. And last but not least, we were doing some dancing with kids. So for instance, I mean, myself, I was doing some activities with kids, so helping a bit sometimes in the kindergartens as well.
Wow.
So with the kids, it was another level of interaction because it was much more about playing and about all these non-verbal
Yes.
levels of communication.
Well, from what you say, it sounds that you had a very comprehensive and holistic experience at very different levels of the community, which probably, also allow, to interact with different stakeholders and, so many experiences and rich experiences. And I would say that my next question is, what happened next? You spent this wonderful time in Romania, and how do you feel that this experience changed your future career, and in what way? Because you were telling us that you had this deep sense of belonging to the European project. You are currently working in Brussels at the European Commission. So I would say how these months in Romania, getting to know the reality of the European level in a very local way, how this shape your future, your immediate future.
Well, it did shape it in terms of just grasping a bit more the grassroots, right? So now you start working, and perhaps you lose a bit of the the picture, no, of what it means to be living these daily lives, the differences, um, and it's not because they were super different in terms of course we all have the same routine, right? We wake up, then we go to work, but this was like such a local experience that we were meeting the mayor, we were seeing how they were working, we were proposing projects at many levels, sorry, events at many levels. So then coming to Brussels, well, the transition was for me that I wanted a job perhaps in social impact. So I started working in this like social center. I did some applications for it. And in Brussels, the good thing is that there's a lot of possibilities as well. So here I introduced a new promotion campaign now to the Brussels bubble. And basically like the fact that there's different sectors, the private, the institutional, and then the more civil society. It allows you to experience from different ways of working with different staff, different types of working conditions. And in this sense, I started as communication assistant for campaigns, also in a social center, and that was very interesting, but very different from an experience on the spot for sure, because it doesn't. It's not like you live it in first person, right? It's like, okay, I'm telling now a story about something that I want to promote, a campaign or a social initiative, but I'm not the one living the daily life of this social initiative. So I think it's good to have the combination of both. Um, Also, just for empathy reasons, no, like trying to professionally and personally they be more equipped with the tools that allow you to understand what you're speaking about and who you're speaking to. So culturally, I think it did help in that sense for my working experience now. basically.
Definitely. I think that you have like the double experience, not that working on a very local grassroots level, and now you have the ability to bring this into a more technical and more EU bubble environment, which, you know, it's more administrative, but I think you bring with you that experience. And I would like, you know, to close at least my round of questions. I keep these questions open to our friends joining us, because I think Alba has a lot to still, you know, to share, because I think this was a very, very powerful experience from your words. But I would like to close with a message from you. Gosia showed us the huge amount of people that wants to do European Solidarity Corps. It's almost 1 million. This is a big number. But still, you know, some people feel hesitant that, you know, like having an experience like this, leaving their countries, communities, families, friends. But what would be that message for you know, those who are maybe like comme ci comme ça, that they are like, you know, embracing the idea, but at the same time, you know, not 100% sure? What would you tell them?
I think the message, and here I'm going to sound like an American coach, but I would say dare to do, and don't think it's a mistake, because it's just going to enrich everything that you do, and every human experience that you will have will really make you grow and make you be more, have a more realistic view of things, professionally, personally, especially for your own soul. And yeah.
Yes. Thank you very much, Alba, really sincerely, for sharing with us this personal journey with European Solidarity Course, because for us this means a lot, having your voice in this platform of experiences among friends, and I'm really grateful of having you here today. And as I was mentioning several times, we have our chat for questions, so feel free to ask any question, or even you can ask the questions afterwards, and we can disseminate. We will disseminate the PowerPoint among you, the one that share our expert from the European Commission. But again, if you have any question for Alba, I think this is the time. So let me check the chat. I don't see any question. I mean, I think you convinced all of us, Alba. Really. Really.
There's not only one path, right?
Oh,
So just
no.
to continue with the motivational speech, I think
Yes.
you will not go wrong if you do
Yes.
it, and if you
Yes.
try it.
Still, I'm seeing a good question. Thank you very much for this question, Charlotte. Big challenge. Let me read the question. What was the biggest challenge that you experienced during this time in Romania?
The biggest challenge that I experienced while I was in Romania was perhaps you have to be a lot with yourself, right? As well, you're far from home, so also you get to know yourself better. So in that sense, to be open to learning and not scared. I think that was not going with expectations, with very prefixed expectations, but really like a sponge, open to the input and trying to transform that input into positive energy, right? Sometimes, of course, days you wake up and you're like, I'm doing this, but what is my next step? And is it practical, or should I be doing something more useful, or something that is more aligned with my career? We get all these questions, and we are in a society that is impulsing us to all the time do things that are functional or that have an application, no, for the future. In that sense, just to not even mindfulness, because I don't think I was doing mindfulness per se, but everything that comes in will bear fruits in the future, and with that kind of mindset, nurturing it and being kind, no, with my surroundings, so that also I would receive that positive energy from the rest, even if I was feeling insecure or scared. Or I think that would be the highest challenge, not to channel all the sensations in a direction that actually bears fruit.
Thank you very much, Alba, and thank you, Charlotte, for the question, because I think some of us that we also already had, you know, similar experiences, and encouraging, you know, to a lot of people to you know, apply for the European Solidarity Corps and several programs. We had a few weeks ago Discovery EU, which is the Interrail. many times, you know, we have this conversation about uncertainty, you know, embracing uncertainty with an open mind. And I think this would be the way I would like to close this fantastic conversation with all of you. Oh, I have a question. Okay, so I'm not closing, not yet. Nell, Gerard, I'm afraid that once I come back from my country, this is a really good, I would still want to stay there. Did you ever had those kind of thoughts? Which means that you come back, but you have, you know, this homesick of your new home, no? In a way, Nell.
That's a super, super good question. Actually, I was thinking 2 days ago about nostalgia, no, and how we think about the past and like the things that we have actually experienced and we would like to have hold on to. It's a big melon, but I would say that nothing that we do is going to be repeated in the same way. So that this thought of maybe if I go there, I would like to stay doesn't stop you from experiencing it. Because if you were to stay and if you really wanted to stay, you would find a way. And by the end of the day, from in our age right now, we are free from more perhaps carrying some or having responsibilities as someone to take care of. Or so I think if this is one of the biggest challenges, not to go there and to be willing to stay, I would take it, because that means that you would have had a really good experience. So don't let that stop you. Definitely not.
Thank you very much, Alba. Thank you very much, Nell. It was a fantastic question. Really, nostalgia, no? And yes, fully agree, fully agree. Wow, so just one more time, if there is any remaining question, this is the moment to ask this question. Otherwise, I just want to say thank you very much, Alba. Thank you for Gosia, who had to leave. She had a very busy afternoon, but we were very grateful of having her here among us. And I just want to say that, you know, I think we are combining a lot of efforts, no, to create a lasting impact that can go beyond this virtual meeting we had. And Alba has brought us, you know, what the European project means. She experienced it, and I think you are still experiencing daily in your daily commitment now, working in Brussels. So congratulations for that. And I just would like to say that until we meet again, we remain and we wish that, you know, we are all fueled by inspiration, by action, and we remain proactive. So thank you very much. And before I stop the recording, just a kind reminder that this recording will be available in our YouTube platform and in a couple of days, or maybe tomorrow. So anytime you feel like you need to get inspired, I highly recommend you watching it. So thank you very much.
I hope that you all sign up after this. I hope that you all sign up.
Yeah. Yes. Some of us we
Thank you.
are a bit old now, but we encourage everyone to sign. So thank you very much, Alba, and thank you very much to all our friends that are joining us this afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you a lot. It was very inspiring. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.